It sounds like the most terrifying thing. I'm the only one in this room who's never done stand-up.
Yeah,
So it's the most terrifying thing. Then I watch
terrifying.
people, climb up frozen waterfalls and, base jump and, fly in those squirrel suits off mountains on YouTube with cameras on their helmets. And I watched these two guys and a chick the other day in the States just, driving around America, climbing up mountains, climbing up a frozen waterfall. The guy's hammering in and then half of it goes falls down, and they're halfway up, just going along. And, the ones that come up behind the first guy, how's the first guy? I'll just go up there by myself and kink, 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 hammer this thing into the ice and hook a thing to it and strap it to me belt. And then you get those guys that even hang off mountains and sleep in that tent. And then they go, oh, no, I couldn't get on stage.
Were you ever,
That'd be fucking hell. Yeah.
like, in the old days when you first started, did you ever get terrified and did you bomb and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, totally. Of course.
And like Chris, did you also get a room full of people just
Well, I've been in
hating
bands
you?
for 10, 12, probably 14 years before I did comedy, so I wasn't scared of stages, but of course drumming and being in bands is different to doing comedy.
Well, same. I drummed in bands for 10 years or so.
It's
and
it's a whole completely different ballgame.
Well, you're sitting down at the back, aren't you?
that's it. I loved it. But I did still, the first gig I ever did, I shit my pants, like literally shit my pants. And it took me probably, I don't know, a few months of gigging before I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Dean used to be in a band with his family, like the
Hansons.
like no,
Dean
more
Partridge.
like the Partridge.
Oh, Partridge family.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, every time I tell somebody that, which I don't
love
volunteer that information ever, but they always say Partridge family.
Was it a Christian
I
band?
had no idea who
But
they
you
are.
also
Never even
had
Googled them.
you also had costumes that you all wore and
All right,
stuff.
all right, yeah. There's no. Don't even bother googling it. There's nothing.
Okay, it's enough. Anyway,
Yeah.
But so that was one of the things, because you were saying, do you ever have just that thing of people hating, like the whole audience just hating you?
oh, totally.
Yeah, mate.
Died
Man,
on
you
my
just
arse.
got silence. And you've got. I'd just jam up and. I mean,
It's a nightmare. First time I did gigs in the Netherlands and stuff. That's the first un-English speaking country I did gigs in. In about 2002 or 2001 or something. Oh, it was just fucking brutal.
and like when you're on
Brutal.
stage with
Like
everyone,
it's not even like the English or someone where they might heckle all that. They don't fucking. I
They
wrote
just
those jokes
stare at you.
about it. I just wrote those jokes. Remember the fucking gig in front of the Dutch. You don't make them laugh. They'll stare at you till you cry. And that's what they do. It's this palpable silence, and they're just all. At least in England, you could stand there and go, "Well, this is going a bit shit, isn't it?" Someone go, "Yeah, it's fucking going shit, mate. What are you going to do about it?" Yeah, even if someone goes, "Fuck off, mate," you've got it in. But when you've just got
when there's
100
just
people
silence.
just going, and you can't even go, "Well, this is going shit, isn't it?" They're just thinking, "Yeah." What do you want us to do about it? yeah. They're not going to say that even. They're just going to.
Well, that's one of the things that you, when I think you did a little workshop sort of thing at the Comics Lounge a while back, a couple of years ago maybe now. One of the things that I really took away from that is, I think you said something about like when it is like that and they're all just hating you, just soak it up, learn to enjoy.
Oh, that's what I did when I started. When I first started comedy, and I would die on my ass. I just used to think, well, not even me. You've got to keep going.
Was that in Australia?
I started here, then moved to Europe.
So you were dying here when you first started.
Oh, I started. Well, sometimes the comedy gods are graceful to you, so they'll let your first gig go all right.
Yeah.
You don't kill, but you get a few laughs, and it's not that bad. No one really hates you. And then the second one, they go, "Oh, that's all right." And you think, "Hey, I'm all right." And the third one, they go, now get used to this. Now, what's this gig going to do to me? It's going to make you walk off that stage, walk straight to the car park, get in your car, and go home feeling like a piece of shit. How's that feel? Oh, God. Yeah, brutal. You have to have it. But when you first start, I think that's what you got to do. You got to keep going. You just go and you die in your fucking hole.
See, I mean, what's the difference between that? I mean, in the band, did you ever die on stage in a
Well, the
band?
difference between a band, unless people throw bottles and stuff at you.
Yeah, yeah.
What can people do in a band? Nothing, You can have an audience sort of, either leave the hall or just...
That's about it.
Or
Just
not
not-
take any attention of that. But you can always just, the guitarist can turn around and look at the drummer, and you can
Yeah.
just laugh with one another and just have band practice on stage.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah,
Whenever there was like people were just like not even getting into it or just staring.
Yeah.
If the song finishes, silence.
Just silence,
But what are they be like? Fucking, I'd just start trying new shit and just
you
mucking
just
around.
go-
But you're in heavy metal, so they're not talking to each other. They can't possibly, could they?
Well, I was very lucky.
It'd be very
I was in the
loud.
first thrash metal band in Australia, really, which was quite far ahead of its time. So our first gig was in front of like 1,000 people
Yeah.
Oh,
who loved it.
Yeah.
And every gig after that was just in front of people who went mental. So it wasn't.
that's awesome.
Then I joined Mortal Sin, which was another thrash band. They already had a record deal. So my first gig with them was in front of 4,000 people. Already loved it. And we went overseas, toured. So it wasn't until I made my third band, Presto, which wasn't full metal. It was an amalgamation of different styles where I had to go back to experience what some people experience when they first start playing, which is nothing. So
That would have been horrible to have
because
to
I was
go
in the
back.
thrash metal world when it started. We were like Black Sabbath in the 70s when there is no competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're Black Sabbath. Who else is fucking like you? No one, right? So that's
Yeah.
what we were like here. And then it was only us and Mortal Sin, really, maybe a couple of fledgling bands in Melbourne starting out. But really, it just started and it was on. It was on. Just fucking start. It's fucking on. We've got a gig. We've got a crowd going mental.
Oh, Bitcoin.
Yeah. Fucking
Should have
even
bought
our
shares
first
in you.
gig was in a hall that we hired in Blacktown, and our mates were there in front of us having a fucking great time. So it was like,
Yeah.
but yeah. Well, as I said, you die in comedy. Now I've done comedy for 20 years. If the audience fucking hates me now, unless it's a show that they've, a big show that they've come to see, which
Yeah.
is rare, they're going to hate it because they've come to see me, right? If I went and did a gig now and they hate it, then I'd leave. Because I've already done all those years.
Yeah.
I already know.
Does that ever happen still?
Yeah. Sometimes. It hasn't happened recently because I haven't been doing any gigs. But it's happened. It happened. I did a gig in this music festival outside of London. Didn't realise how mainstream it was until I got there. It was mainstream.
Oh, okay.
So coming from heavy metal world, I used to think everyone who started comedy that I'm playing in front of people who are mainstream because not everyone's in Slayer shirts or got mohawks, right? But then and they kind of are, but then I realised that over the years, well, if you're the kind of person that goes to a comedy club that you don't know who's on, you're not totally mainstream. Because I've soon discovered after years and years that, see, if you come from very underground stuff like punk or metal, then normal people are just mainstream. But once you play in front of what you consider normal people, for want of a better word, and then you realise, no, there's a fucking mainstream. That's the majority. They're the people that watch The Voice.
They're the ones who aren't
and
into music that much.
Aren't into anything that much, right? Like, believe the news still. Don't buy records that they've never heard of. Laugh at something that's different. The worst kind of fans to have, even though if you get promoted into that world, you make a large amount of money very quickly. But if you become different or the press destroys you or you disappear for a year, then you're out of their lives. Why? Because they didn't really have any allegiance to you.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't go anywhere they're not told. Like my mates, some of them got really, really big in England, really big to be in the telly and that, so they play, big places. And then one of them, who was with the same management as me, goes, "My audiences are getting worse." I said, "Of course they are, because you've reached the people who, you're on TV a lot. You're on the same thing that has insurance ads and toilet paper ads and McDonald's ads, right? This is you're now reaching them, the unimaginative."
So there you were.
Unimaginative mass. So when you go and play to them, sometimes
You can't give them a new idea.
well, you can't. If I play, it's like people go, what's your favourite country to play? Well, it's not just the country. It depends what kind. If I play in Auckland, but people who like me come, they're the best. But if I play to mainstream Auckland people, Jesus.
Yeah, I never looked at it like that,
Christ.
actually. Like in Melbourne, it's like you were talking about the PC thing over here when you had that thing. And if you played to the mainstream of Melbourne, it'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
Oh,
It'd be so shit.
But
especially now.
But Michael McIntyre, he would appeal to the mainstream, wouldn't he?
Michael McIntyre he's a fantastic comedian, though.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. But see, then again, as I said, you're looking at things have to be looked at in specifics of what country you're in. The English are very well versed in comedy. So, because you get, when Michael McIntyre started, when he was on the circuit, when I was on it, and people started going, who's this fucking guy? Who's this fucking guy? I go, I'll tell you who this guy is. He's good. I know he's a bit pompous and weird and he struts around in his suit, but he's fucking good. Can't you tell he's good? Why? Because the whole fucking room's laughing their fucking head off, right? And they go, but he just does comedy about nothing. Mate, the guy just got 20 minutes out of talking about the sink that's got the fucking scissors and the aluminium foil in it. I wish I could write 20 minutes about that fucking drawer because it takes a lot of talent to write 20 minutes of comedy about that fucking drawer. Why? Because it's boring as fuck. And the guy got 20 minutes out of it, right? So don't tell me he's not fucking good because he's fucking good, right?